Good morning, students. Students, yesterday we have completed our fourth chapter, that was process and basis of accounting. Okay. I hope you are clear with the concepts, conventions, and various principles of accounting. Okay. So today we are going to start our next chapter, that is accounting standards. Students, you know that accounting is a language, it's a business language. You have seen in accounting when you pass the journal entry, so with the help of narration, you just come to know what kind of transactions we are doing, right? So in the same way, when we observe the statement of P&L, trading P&L and balance sheet, so we just come to know about various informations regarding any business or institution. Okay, so we can say accounting is a language, right? And we have discussed this also, that so many parties are interested in our accounting. We have certain internal parties, some external parties are there. They have interest in our business because somehow they are attached to our business. Okay, like banks are interested because they have given loan to my business, so they want to know my financial position. Of course, shareholders or investors, you can say the owners. Okay, creditors are there, debtors are there, and employees are there, and so many other people are there, like government is there. So these parties, they are very much interested to know about my financial position of my business, right? So this accounting is a very informative, and it works as a language. Okay, it provides the information, and we know that this is the time where the business has taken place of the globalization. We are doing business throughout the world. Okay, there is no such geographical boundaries are there, and no hurdles are there. Fine, so we can do the business in any of the country. Export import is there. So definitely when we are doing the business, so some accounting will be there. And accounting in my country and in the different country, are they different or they are in the same way or what? And in my country even, we have so many states in the country, so different states, they are doing their businesses. Of course, all the businesses, they are doing their accounting also. So how they are doing, and will they be able to understand the accounting of any other state? I mean, these kind of questions arises, if we have similarity in all these things, so that will be very easy for anyone to understand this language. As English is an international language, if anyone speaks English and the person who understands, wherever you go, whatever the country's name is there, so you can communicate the things very well, right? You can converse with anyone. In the same way, if your accounting standards are there, what are the standards? Very soon I'll tell you. So if your language, your business language is same, so this will be easy for everyone to understand. Okay, if you are doing business with America, so you will understand the accounting and they will understand your one, right? So there are some similarities, it is required if we are indulged in the international business. Okay, so this was one thing. So now we are talking about the accounting standards. Students, this is the reason that we have to prepare certain standards which everyone will be following. And if everyone follow the same thing, so there will not be any problem at all. They will understand in the same way as I want to make them understand. So students, I'm talking to you in a very, very simple language. I hope you will understand this. What are the accounting standards? If you decide one standard, one, method, the different concepts and conventions which we have studied, these all are a part of accounting standard. We have decided the accounting standards. That's why the principles are there, and in the principles we know certain concepts, assumptions, and conventions are there. So these all things are a part of your accounting standards. Is that clear? And you might have seen that if we follow all these standards, I mean the concepts and convention, each and every business is following the same thing. So that will be easy for everyone. And there is a comparability between all that. If you want to compare, you want to see certain things, so easily you can do that. All right. So this is what the next term is, IFRS and IASB. Students, this is International Accounting Standard Board, right? So earlier it was International Accounting Standard Committee. Later on this has converted into a board, right? So this International Accounting Standard Board, IASB, has framed certain rule, regulations, method it has created, and we have given the name International Financial Reporting Standard. How do you report? Students, we know that accounting is a language, and each and everyone wants to know that what you have done, either your business has earned some profit or loss. If there is a profit, then how much? If loss is there, then how much? And statements, financial statements, this communicates the results to everyone. And what is included in the financial statement? That is your trading account, P&L account, and balance sheet, of course. So this disclose everything about the business. So these must be prepared in the proper way, in the proper format, according to the decided standards which has been decided by your IASB. Okay. So International Financial Reporting Standard. In what way you report the things, right? The standardization is there. The standard reporting is there. Standard reporting means each and everyone will be reporting in the same way. And in next year you will study, when we will discuss about our accounting of share capital regarding the company. One book is based on company accounting only. So you will find that there is a fixed format of your balance sheet and statement of P&L account. Okay, so that is the fixed thing for everyone. So similarity is there, and easily comparability. I mean, we can do the comparisons. All right. So this is your IASB and IFRS. Now students, this is very clear. When the thing is taking place on the international basis, quite clear that we are not adopting each and everything, because when you go country to country, so some variations you will find. So our India has done a little correction in the simplified language. I'm telling you, little correction you can say, means some modifications, the changes which you want, means that thing is not prevailing in my country, so I can remove that, and this thing is prevailing, so I can add that. All right. So we have prepared Indian standard accounting standard. Indian accounting standard we have prepared, which is prevailing in our country. So simply you can say these are the modified way of IFRS, International Financial Reporting System standard. So this was the international, okay, and Indian means these standards will be applicable in India only. All right. One more term you should understand, that is GAAP. This is Generally Accepted Accounting Principle. Okay. Generally accepted accounting principle. Most of the people, right, they are agree on one convention. Okay. Yesterday we have studied about the conventions. Okay. So when everyone is agree on this point, so that comes in the system that we start using in our accounting, in our system. Okay. So that is called GAAP, GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. All right. Now students, section 129 of your Companies Act 2013 says that we have to show the true and fair state of your business, and that is possible through your trading P&L and balance sheet. So that must be prepared in a standardized way. Okay, according to this IFRS. Later on we have introduced the Indian accounting standards. I hope this introduction is sufficient to understand what we are going to discuss in this chapter. What we are going to do, accounting standards we are discussing. All right. So students, let's take it in the way, like the definition is given by Mr. Collar. Mr. Collar defines it: a code of conduct imposed on accountants by custom, law, or professional body. All right. These are the code of conduct, which are code of conduct is imposed on the accountants, means the people who are doing the accounting work. This has been imposed on those one, right? They will be following all these standards and the norms. Okay, so they will be following the custom, law, and of the given by the professional body, right? Now they are talking about the nature of accounting standards. We will be taking it in brief. So this is telling accounting standards lay down the norms of accounting policies and practices by way of codes to direct as to how the transactions and events should be dealt within, right? So it's telling that these are the norms, and of course the gist I have told you. Rest of the points we will be discussing on all these bases. These are the norms, we follow that and we do our accounting accordingly. Next it is telling that it must be comparable, Means your accounting standard should be in that way that easily you can compare your data with your previous year's data. Means you can do the comparison with yourself and you can compare with any other firm of the country or on the international basis also you can do. Next, it is telling that preferred accounting treatment. They prescribe a preferred accounting treatment from the available set of methods for solving one or more accounting problems. So these should be like that. If you face any problem, anything is there, so you can easily solve that problem, right? So these should be framed like that. Next, it is telling they provide information to the users. I mean, we have discussed it already. Your accounting standards are framed that way that these are giving the information to the different users. And next, it is telling that it has to follow the law. Of course, accounting standards are prepared in that framework. These are prepared this way that within the boundary of the law, right? You have to do the work. Now, objectives of accounting standard. What are the objectives, or you can say aims? Why do we follow the accounting standards? You can say. First one, to ensure uniformity in the preparation and presentation of the financial statement. Students, I tell you one thing. You know, the gist I have told you within 5 minutes. This is the complete information, and rest of the topics and the things which we are talking, that is based on that only. Only they will change the name. Here we are discussing in the form of objective, and then we will discuss in the form of advantages. Okay. So it's telling to provide information to the users about the policies adopted, right? So these are the objectives that the different users of accounting, they must get the proper knowledge, the true and fair state of the business might be known by them. And to ensure uniformity in the preparation of that. This is also one of the objectives that you and me, because we are doing the business, so our accounting should be uniform, and in the whole country wherever you go. So the accounting should be uniform. Each and every business should have the uniform pattern of working. So the audits are there, the auditor, the chartered accountants, fine. Everyone do the same kind of study, the same kind of systems everyone is following. So that's not difficult for anyone to do the auditing and other kind of accounting work. Alright. Next, it is telling to remove the effect of diverse accounting policies and practices. If somebody is using the different things, different accounting methods they are following, diversification is there, so that discourages that removes that, and uniformity is there. Next is telling that to ensure consistency, transparency and comparability of the financial statement. We have discussed it many times. That consistency should be there, means year after year we are following same kind of pattern. Of course we can change, but after a considerable time of period, okay? And it should be comparable, transparency should be there. Well, students, very soon you will find when we will prepare the financial statements that transparency is there, means the things are open to everyone. Next and last one is to improve the reliability and credibility of the financial statements. Improve the reliability and credibility. Means people, they should understand its value. They must rely upon this. They must believe your statements, right? And it should have some credit worthiness in the market, okay? So these were the objectives of your accounting standard. Well, next is our utility or benefits of the accounting standard. You can say these are the benefits or advantages of the accounting standard. So these are the same one which we have discussed in the objective, but they have changed the way of presentation. Well, first one, it is telling that accounting standards improve the reliability and credibility of financial statements. The last point which we have discussed in the objectives, okay? So all the explanation I have done in brief, let me read it for you. They are telling there are numerous parties which are interested in the accounting information of an enterprise. They include the investors, management, government, your employees, right? Creditors are there. So it is therefore necessary that the financial statements present a true and fair view of the picture in front of all these people. So accounting standards generate confidence among the users of the accounting information, right, students? So this creates confidence between all these users. You have prepared the standards. So these parties, they believe in your accounting. They believe your accounting, that of course it is true because you are following the standards, okay? Next advantage is accounting standards ensure the consistency and comparability of the financial statement. Well, when you are following the accounting standard, your standards has been framed like this, that easily you can compare the data. You can compare the data with your own firm, right? You can do the comparison. Next year you will find in the balance sheet. Even balance sheet we prepare in the comparative way. Means last year's data we are taking, right, and current year's data we are taking side by side. So this is prepared in a comparative way, okay? And consistency is there. So accounting standards make the financial statements of different enterprises or of the same enterprise for different accounting periods comparable. Easily you can compare the things. They bring the uniformity of assumptions, and thus they ensure the consistency and comparability of such statements, which in turn ensures better comparison of profitability, financial position, and so many other things are there which you want to compare. Sometimes you want to compare your sale with any other firm's sale. You want to compare your expenses with others. Okay, means you have done this much expenses and another one they are doing that much. So your expenses are more or their are more. You want to compare the capital. So many things are there. Anything you can compare. Okay. So this presents a proper mechanism to compare the things. Comparability is there. Next point, next advantage it is telling, accounting standards help in resolving conflicts of financial interest among various groups. Sometimes dispute arises between the various groups, and we have seen from the very beginning that employer and employee, generally there is a slight dip between these two groups. Employees always ask for the bonus and for increment and better salary, and employer always wants to pay less and say that they don't have enough profit and all certain kind of things goes. So many other parties are also interested in that. So it's quite possible that conflict arises wherever two or more people are working together, more groups are there, conflict arises. So accounting standards help that time, right? They become a mediator, kind of mediator, because certain rule regulations has been given in the accounting standards. So these are the standards which everyone has to follow. Okay, so that way they remove the problem. So I'm just reading it for you. Well, it is telling that sometimes there is a conflict of financial interest among the various groups interested in financial statements. For example, shareholders and creditors may have opposite interest in assessing the profitability and net worth of an enterprise. Accounting standards are helpful in resolving such a conflict because financial statements drawn up on the basis of accounting standards will be acceptable to all the groups. Okay, so standards are like that which are acceptable to all the group. Students, when once before starting the partnership, you have studied in BST, when you prepare your partnership deed, so that deed is acceptable by everyone. So in the same way, accounting standards which we have prepared, so these standards are acceptable by all the parties or users who are interested in the business. So later on, if any conflict arises, so they have to follow all these standards. I'm sorry. Now next point is your accounting standards significantly reduce the chances of manipulations and fraud. Well, when you are following the standards, so standards they have prepared after a lot of exercise, they have seen everything, and these standards are on international basis. And I have told you about Indian accounting standards. These standards are taken from this IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards, and these are prepared by the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India and Institute of Cost and Work Accountant, right? Both these institutions, they have framed this Indian accounting standard. Okay. So the chances of manipulations are very bleak. We don't find it. So it's telling adoption of accounting standards in the preparation of financial statements has reduced the chances of manipulation, fraud, insufficient disclosures, or the use of inappropriate accounting policies. These things are missing. When these are framed by the the top institutes of our country, so all these things are missing. Okay, so we can say these are the advantages of the financial standards. Next, it is telling that helpful to auditors. Students, have told you. Well, first of all, you should understand who are the auditors. Auditors are the person who check the accounts of all the company, and only a chartered accountant can be appointed as an auditor, right? Auditor कौन होता है? एक CA ही auditor का काम कर सकता है. And what is the work of auditor? When suppose you have a business and you have certain accountants according to your requirement, okay? If you require 2 accountants, fine. If you have a large size of business, you have 5 accountants, all right. If you have 100 accountants, all right, no problem. So your accountants are maintaining your books of accounts according to accounting standard, according to the rule regulations, okay? People, businessmen, they are doing the manipulation also for their own benefit, right? They are manipulating the profits. They want to pay the less tax. They want to have more benefit. So because of these reasons, they manipulate the accounts. So government has decided certain rule regulations. If your turnover exceeds a certain limit, okay, so if it exceeds over a particular limit, then you have to get your accounts audited by the auditor, okay? So this person is external person. This is not an employee of the firm, and only chartered accountant has a right to work as an auditor. So he audits your account, means he check everything in detail, right? All the things, I mean the whole accounting, he starts from the beginning and he tries to find out the fault and manipulations, frauds and these kind of things, okay? So he has to submit his report to the government. All right, students, so this is the auditor. I hope it is clear. So it's telling that helpful to auditor. Well, suppose I'm a chartered accountant of India, I'm an auditor, and I have 10 companies to be audited. Once again, I tell you, there are some restrictions on the auditor, that how many companies they audit. There is a limit of large size and small size companies, how many companies you can say. So for example, simply I'm telling you, just presume for a moment, I'm an auditor and I'm auditing 10 companies in the different parts of the country, okay? So isn't it won't be very difficult for me if each and every company is following the different standards, different accounting, different rule regulations they are following? So what I will do? I will go mad, I have done the CA, fine. I have one kind of rule regulations. If for every company I have the different frames of rule regulations in my mind, that won't be possible. So when you have the similar rule regulations everywhere, right, means standards are decided. So everyone has to follow the standards. Each and every business has followed the same kind of standard. So isn't it helpful to the auditor that the same things are there? Okay. Even outside of the countries also, a little bit difference can be there, but the things are similar. When I'm reading it for you students, it is telling that it is the duty of the auditor to ensure that the accounting standards have been followed in the preparation of the financial statement. In case of deviations, deviation means the differences are there. Wherever they find difference, they find out the reasons, okay? So it is also their duty to make adequate disclosure in their report so that the users of such statements may be aware of such deviations. Right, students? Auditor. This is the duty of the auditor to check the financial statements of these companies, and they have to prepare their report, and this report will be published to the public, okay? This report will be, this will be disclosed to everyone, right? They are free to observe that. Anyone can observe this, anyone can read this report, right? So they have to give the authentic report. So as a result, the auditors will be free from court cases and various panel provisions under the company law in cases of inducted frauds, insufficient disclosures, or due to adoption of inappropriate accounting policies. Because we have already given the standard, very soon you will come to know. Next year when you will go through this, financial statements of your company, that there are the annexures, and we have to give the notes of everything. There is a particular system to disclose everything, how to show the share capital, how to show the assets, and how to show the liabilities. So there is a fixed pattern of that, and each and every company has to follow that. So the work becomes very easy for the auditor. All right, students. So here we have completed all the merits, advantages, or benefits, utilities, you can say, of the accounting standard. Well, we know that pros and cons go side by side. Some merits are there, so definitely some limitations will be attached to the merits. So the first one is restrict initiative. Well, this, accounting standards are mandatory by the people to follow, and they have to follow. If there is something that they can do better, they can't do. They have to follow the fixed pattern which is given by the Companies Act 2013. So, since accounting standards are mandatory in nature, they restrict initiative for better presentation and disclosure. If you have an idea that the format of the balance sheet which is given by the Schedule 1 of the Companies Act 2013, so I can present in a better way. So you are not supposed to do that. Maybe you have a better way to present, but you are not free. So this discourages the initiatives. Next, it is telling that rigid in nature. This is extended version of the first point only. So accounting standards are rigid in nature. They restrain the accountants from using a more suitable alternative solution to a particular problem. That is what we have discussed. There they have stop the accountant to take initiative, and here they are telling that if we have a better solution of the problem. Sometimes this happens, if one has one solution of this problem, so the different people, they can have the different solution. Maybe they have a better one, but we can't adopt that because the things are very rigid. We have to work according to the standards. Accounting standards means concepts, principles, conventions, assumptions which we have studied. We have to follow all that. We can't go beyond these things. Okay. So next one, it is telling that based on historical cost, this is also one of the limitation, that when we purchase something, so we enter that transaction with its cost price. जिस पे भी आपने खरीदा है, you mentioned that. Okay. So there are changes in future. The market price changes, fluctuations are there, but that is not recorded. So this is also one of the minus point, because this is given in your accounting standard. The right thing is that we must record, if you want to know the true and fair state of your business. So this won't be accurate if you show the historical cost. Let me make you understand with the help of one example. Suppose you have purchased a piece of land and its cost was 5 lakh rupees 10 years back. Okay, so you have mentioned in your books of account land 5 lakh. Okay, today when you value that and you ask the valuer, or you were interested in selling it in the market, you inquired about its price, right, sale price. So they said its value is 1 crore. Its cost was 5 lakh and now its value is 1 crore. So in fact, if you sell it out in the market, you are supposed to realize 1 crore rupees, but your balance sheet is showing just 5 lakh rupees. So you tell me, is your balance sheet correct? Is it showing you the true and fair state of your business? No, it is no. So this is also one of the drawback of your accounting standards, because in the previous class we have discussed about it, that we show the values on the historical cost concept, if you remember. Okay. Next one, it is telling that obstruct the judgment of auditor. Well, according accounting standards obstruct the judgment of the auditors as the standards are mandatory. Well, sometimes if auditor finds this is not the right thing, what is happening, they want to give this thing in the report, but they are bound to with the report, and the things which has been discussed, we have to explain that only. So sometimes auditor also feel very awkward situation. All right. So these were the limitations, and in brief, we will talk about the Indian standard. I have told you, students, Indian standards are the changed version of the International Financial Reporting Standards. A little bit changes has been done. Okay, so Indian accounting standards are Indianized version of International Financial Reporting Standard. Indianized version means according to your Indian accounting, you have done a little changes and you have adopted. So this is so and so. All right. Now characteristics or salient features of the Indian accounting standard. Kya features hain, right? What are the characteristics? The first one, it is telling that accounting standard, Indian accounting standards are the modified version of IFRS. Okay, and Indian accounting standards are comprehensive and cover a wide area comprising revenues, expenses, losses, assets, everything it is covering. And Indian standards are principle based. Okay, Under Indian accounting standard, items are shown in the balance sheet as per the principles associated with each. That we know that. How do you show the items in the balance sheet? According to the rule regulations, according to the principles as we have discussed. And Indian accounting standard lay emphasis on transparency and accountability of financial statements. The thing should be transparent and it must be comparable. Okay. So these were the features, you can say, or the characteristics of the Indian accounting standards. Okay. Now we will talk about certain merits of these accounting standards. So what are the merits? Suitable for Indian conditions. When we have given the name Indian accounting standard, change version of that. We have done a little changes according to our Indian companies and Indian environment. Okay. So of course this is suitable to the Indian conditions. Next one, clear guidelines for financial reporting. Students, have told you financial reporting, whatever the work is done by the business, the accounting you have done, you have to report it to the public, When it is a public company, public investment is there, so you have to tell them. Okay, each and everything you have to disclose. Fine. So it is telling clear guidelines for financial reporting, how you have to report the thing, how you have to show the assets. Students, assets is a small thing, and if I say fixed assets, okay, so fixed assets is containing a hell lot of things, a number of things are there. So how to show all these things? Isn't it very complicated that you just write one thing, current assets and non-current assets, and thousands of the things these companies are including in that. So there is a proper method and provision to disclose everything. So these all guidelines are given by your Indian accounting standards. Further, it is telling, okay, merits we were talking. Uniformity of financial reporting, of course. Uniformity is there. If you do the audit of this company or that company, if this company is presenting its accounting or any other company is presenting its accounting, disclosing, right, reporting of its financial statement, so the uniformity will be there. And helpful to investors. Well, it's very, very helpful to the investor. Investors are those one who want to invest the money in these companies. Means, let's take an example. I have 10,000 rupees to invest, right? And I want to buy the share of some company. Means I want to invest in the company. I want to buy the share of these companies. So I have thousands of the company in front of me. Now where should I invest? Of course, this is the human tendency, where I will get more benefit. I will see two things. Either this company is providing profits, I mean the good dividends it is providing, or the value of its share is increasing. I will see these things. So it provides me, it discloses the things properly, and clarity is there. Okay, so I can observe the things. I have complete information of the market. I can compare these companies, that which company is good from my perspective, where should I invest this money. Okay, so it is quite helpful to the investors also. They can decide on the basis of these financial reporting, financial standards की वजह से financial, the standardized reporting is there. Next one, it is telling that difficult to commit fraud and manipulate the accounts. Well, we have a system that we have to follow these principal concepts, so and so, and this discourages the manipulation. When you follow one system, so of course people are doing the manipulation, corruption is still existing, it is everywhere, but still it, keep a check on all these things. It discourages that, right? The number of corruption and manipulation reduces. Okay, so this is also one of the positive point, merits. Now they have given a little differences. It's telling applicability of accounting standards in Indian accounting standard. Okay, and differences, distinctions between accounting standard AS and Indian accounting standard. Although the things are same, students, these were the accounting standards, and Indian accounting standard means you have adopted from there. So a little comparisons are there. Let's take 2 minutes to wind it up. In the short I'm explaining. Well, basis they have taken, accounting standards were based on international accounting standards. That's very true. Accounting standards in total we are taking, so that based on the international accounting standard, and as its name is telling, Indian accounting standard, right? So these are based on international financial reporting system, how they report this. Okay, and Indian accounting standards have come from IFRS. Okay, this has come from there. Now, rule-based and principle-based. It's telling that accounting standards are rule-based, which are long and complex. Okay, and Indian accounting standards are the principle-based, which we have discussed. You know, the principles, conventions, assumptions which we have done. These are regulated in context of India. Okay, so they report the essence of the transactions. Next, it's telling about the language used. So accounting standards are drafted in technical language with more than one option, as in the case of inventory valuation. So they have more than one option. While valuation of the inventory, we have studied cost or market price, whichever is less, so and so. And in Indian accounting standard are drafting in simple and clear language. Okay, so there you will find that is having the vast scope. It is on the international basis, and you know, so many rule regulations will be there, because this is dealing with so many countries. But especially if we talk about the Indian accounting standards, so that is in context of India only. So the things and the language which has been used, that is more clear. Fair value of assets talking. So accounting standard follow the age-old concept of historical cost we have discussed just before. So accounting standard follow the historical cost method, and Indian accounting standards are based on fair value of the fixed assets. They find out the fair value, means they provide the depreciation year after year. Okay. Trust and reliance by international investors. International investors, so who believes that? So it's telling that accounting standards are not treated with trust and reliance by international investors. And here Indian accounting standards are based on IFRS, hence they command higher trust and reliance by international investors. Well, here, you know, accounting standards related to all the countries and all that. So if the question comes to believe, and here these has been framed regarding the Indian accounting standards. So these are more reliable. People can rely upon these accounting standards, which we have taken from the International Financial Reporting Standards. Okay. So uniformity, if we talk, accounting standards don't ensure uniformity in financial reporting. Different countries, different things. That's on the vast scope is there. And Indian accounting standard ensure uniformity in financial reporting. The same pattern is there. And multiple reporting, at last, the last point is there. So accounting standards require multiple reporting for companies located in different countries that use one set of financial statements in the home country and the other set for foreign country. This is because of using the historical cost concept. Students, they are telling that accounting standard, as I have told you, this is on the international basis, so many countries are involved that. So they are telling the host and guest countries they are using the different methods of the reporting. But Indian accounting standard ensure that there is no multiple reporting for companies located in different countries. Here it is talking about, you know, the Indian accounting standard. You know, if your companies are located in different countries, so you have a same pattern of this reporting. Okay, your companies are located somewhere else, the Indian origin companies are there, so their accounting reporting will be in the same manner. The same principles, conventions, rule, regulations will be followed. All right, students. So here we have completed chapter number 5, that's accounting standards. Although this seems very easy when somebody else is explaining and you are listening, but it becomes difficult when someone put up the question. If I put up the question, and that will be difficult for you to answer. The reason is very simple. If you don't learn it, if you don't go through it properly, first understand the thing. In the first 5 minutes, whatever I have explained, that is the gist of this chapter. Okay, so just go through it yourself, then start learning, and after learning, then start writing, then prepare your notes. Adopt this habit. This is very good. First go through it, right, and then keep all these points in your mind, way of learning, and then start writing. Right, students? So prepare well for your exam. Your midterm exams are heading nearer, and that's starting from 26th of this September. Okay, best of luck for that. Thank you so much.